Okay, for our final lesson in quadratics, we're looking at quadratic inequalities. There's just a few steps you got to follow, and if you follow them every time, you're going to be good to go. So, let's start off with this one. X squared minus 6x plus 8 is greater than 0. How are we going to solve this one? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve this just like any normal quadratic. We're going to start by just factoring it. Alright? So, we're going to find two numbers that multiply to 8, add up to negative 6. We think about it and we figure out, that's right. Let's go with negative 4 and negative 2. So this guy's going to factor to x minus 4 and x minus 2. And that's going to be greater than or equal to 0. We set both of these factors equal to 0 to find our critical point. So it's x minus 4 equals 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. And we get our critical points as 4. X equals 4. And x equals 2. So that's just like how we solve a typical quadratic. Now this is where it gets a little different for quadratic inequalities. We got to draw a little line and plot these. So we're going to put 4 here and 2, 0. And from this point, the final thing here to do is test. We got to test out which way is going to work. It can either be in between or outside. So let's test in the middle, okay? We have to pick a number in between these two, okay? And let's pick, let's say, 3. And see if that is in the solution set, which would be right here in the middle. Well, we plug this 3 back into our original equation. So that would give us 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 8 is greater than 0. And we're just going to see if this statement is true. Is this greater than 0? So we get 9 minus 18 plus 8 is greater than 0. This gives us negative 9 plus 8 is greater than 0, which gives us negative 1 is greater than 0. This is incorrect. Negative 1 is not greater than 0. So we know our solution set lies on the outside of these two lines. So we're going to shade outside. Okay? Everything is going to be outside. Now we're almost done here. This would be a way to graph the solution set. But let's say we wanted to write this in algebraic notation. What we would do is put an x in the middle. And x, therefore, has to be less than 2, alright, x has to be less than 2, or x has to be greater than 4. And that is how it is done. Alright, moving along. This is a different kind of question. This is y. You don't have a 0 here, you have a y. You actually have to graph the parabola here. So bear with me. We're going to start off the same way we did the last time. Now, first one we're going to do is try to find the roots. Okay, so we're going to actually set this equal to 0. And we're going to say 0 is greater than x squared minus 4x plus 4. Alright, we're going to factor this, find two numbers that multiply to 4, add up to negative 4, and that's right, it's negative 2, negative 2. So we get x minus 2 and x minus 2. Alright, that means our roots are going to be x equals 2 and x equals 2. I set them both equal 0 and solve for them. Well, since they're the same, that means we only really have one root, and that's at x equals 2. And by definition, a root is when the parabola hits the x-axis. So that's our root, okay? We know we're going to have a root there. Now the next thing to do is just graph a general sketch of this. Now, there's many ways to do this. I'm just going to draw like kind of an easy graph. Like just, let's see, the y-intercept is at 4, so we know at 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be over here. So it's going to look something like this, okay? Going up like that and going up like that, okay? So I just look at the y-intercept and graph my roots, alright? Now, you're not done yet. This is where the shading part comes in, okay? Ugh, this is ugly. Let me try this one more time. Here, this has to be like that, and so let's just draw that one more time. Okay, good. Now we have to say there's two options here. Either we graph in the inside of the parabola or the outside of the parabola. All right. Now I don't think you guys actually learned this before, so this is how we do it. We pick a coordinate. All right, any coordinate on the outside of the parabola, and I know 0, 0. I always go with that. 0, 0 is on the outside. And we're going to see if 0, 0 is inside the solution set. So if I plug 0, 0 into this, and it's true, I know I shade on the outside. If this turns out to be false, I'll shade on the inside. So let's plug in point 0, 0. So we're going to start with point 0, 0, and we're going to plug it into this. So our y is equal to 0, which is greater than 0 squared, because that's our x, minus 4 times 0 plus 4. So that tells us 0 is greater than, well, that's 0 minus 0 plus 4. And this statement, 0 is greater than 4, is not true. So the solution set is not on the outside of the parabola. It's going to be on the inside. So we're going to shade on the inside of the parabola, and that's all it takes. So just to go through the steps one more time, first thing to do is find the roots. Alright? Find roots. 2, you graph them. Okay? Graph roots and parabola. Just a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay? Just make sure your root is in the right place. And 3, test the number. Test a number, just like on the one above. Okay? Test the number on the outside, see if it's true. If it is true, you shade on the outside. If it's false, you shade on the inside. Alright guys, good luck with this and have a great Memorial Day.